everyone, it's Eileen, or eileenjoyce. I just call myself Eileen, so you can call me Eileen too. This is my first makeup tutorial, and I chose to do it on something that is easy because I've never done one before, and I'm gonna try my best, right? So, this is the kind of look I always do when I just want something quick and easy, and I will say it probably goes a lot quicker when I'm just doing it on my own and not having everybody watch me. This is a good look for work, or today I'm just having some friends over. We have a cheese platter and we're gonna play some games, some board games, because I'm 75 and I like board games. So here it is, just a soft lip, soft eye. I go a little bit heavy on the eyebrows when I wear my glasses because they kind of show nicely there. So there you are. Boop. So get ready. Boop. Back of my dried hair. So let's get started. I'm just going to pop my glasses up. So today I'm going to be using the Too Faced Air Buff BB Cream. I got it recently. Wasn't a fan when I first got it, I will admit. But for these types of looks, where you just want it to be effortless, you don't really want to do a whole lot, and kind of just want a clean face look, it actually works really nicely. I don't recommend using the brush that comes with it, because if you do that, it will take about 1.5 million years to do your makeup, because the brush that comes with it is this little tiny thing. I just use a flathead kabuki brush. It's not much bigger, but the top definitely is. This one's just like a Everyday Minerals, it says on it. I think I just got it off of Amazon. Super cheap. Alright, so I'm gonna use this mirror to make sure I got it all buffed in. Yeah, this is not a high coverage face, so if you do want high coverage, stay away from this stuff. I would say it's a light to medium. It's more than a tinted moisturizer, but not much more. Another thing I really hated by it when I first got it is it kind of feels like waxy, but as I wore it more and more, I realized that it's kind of perfect for days like, you know, the winter days that are really cold and bitter, because it gives you that extra little bit of protection on your face. And you know what, if you use it, you'll see exactly what I mean. Okay, so now I'm going to use NYX powder blush in taupe and a Real Techniques contour brush. I'm going to do a tiny bit of contouring. Not much, because I kind of want this to be, oh, I don't know if I want to use the natural, but kind of a relaxed look, I guess. But as you can see, I have quite a round face, so if I don't contour, it looks strange to me. I'm sure nobody else notices. Just gonna lightly just brush that through my nose, just kind of make everything coherent. See, it's barely noticeable. You can see it right here. Right here. Now I'm gonna lightly sweep on some NYX Spice on my cheeks, just super lightly. See, I start at the apples, and then I kind of brush back. What that does is it kind of blends everything into your contour so you don't feel so, like, choppy, I guess? I don't know what the word is. Same brush that I used for my face makeup, and I kind of go underneath it. And just slightly create a little bit of a line. I don't know if it's coming across on camera, but that's what I'm doing. So, under eyes, which I actually normally do it before blush. I'm not sure why that didn't happen. I used the Lancome, it's kind of rubbed off, Perfecting Waterproof Anti-Crease. Now, the reason why I use this on looks like this where I'm just wearing my glasses. It's because it covers up these terrible dark circles under my eyes, but it doesn't highlight at all, because honestly, there's no point in highlighting if you're wearing glasses. You're not gonna, no light's gonna get in there to highlight, right? Who knows? So just dab it on there. Normally I use my beauty blender to do this, but I forgot to dampen it. And I dropped something, I don't know. Just kind of take your time, dab it in, give everybody the bird. I don't know why I use my middle finger, I'm sorry. I'm going to move this actually a little bit. And then make sure to get in the middle. I get really dark in there. My eyes are sort of close together, and now whatever's left on your finger or your beauty blender, go ahead and sweep over your lid. Now, today, as you can see, I'm really dried out and my dark circles are super dark. So I don't normally do this for a glasses look, but I'm going to now. Just put a little bit of NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in Milk on your eye. Use it as a brow highlight too. It looks really clowny, but if you make sure you don't use too much, it's pretty easy to blend out. Now all this is really going to do is kind of smooth out the lines in your eye and take care of some of that pigment that you have, or I have. This step can be skipped if you'd like to, but honestly I just really like the finish that this stuff gives my eyelid, because I have kind of a creased eyelid. My skin's super thin around my eyes, as is everybody's, but and then a little bit underneath the eye. Alright, so this is kind of the weird part. Just to make sure this doesn't crease, I kind of keep my eyes kind of closed, I guess. Otherwise, you'll just have to smoothen out all the creases. If it does crease, just take your finger and kind of dab it through. So now I'm using Wet n Wild's super cheap, I think it's Brulee, but it's the perfect, just neutral eye base. I use it almost every day. This is just a one of Kat Von D's older brushes. It's just a really fat, kind of fluffy brush with an angle, which I just use it for an all-over brush because it kind of fits in different places pretty easily. Put a lot of this on, to be honest. Make sure it's really matte and nice. This is seriously the best color ever. Wet n Wild has been, like, I don't know, when I was growing up, I always thought Wet n Wild was like the cheapo brand that, like, didn't really have anything good to offer. I guess I'm a snob, but this color is just perfect. I'm going to go underneath my eyes just a little bit. It really doesn't even, at least on my skin tone, doesn't really show a lot of pigment. Just kind of covers things up. All the way up, blending out, just making sure I get it really well. So I'm going to take my Real Techniques base shadow brush and go into the Naked On The Run palette. And I'm going to use the lighter, kind of taupey brown color. I guess I can look up the name. Fix. We'll go with that. Turn on my brush. Now these colors are really pigmented, especially compared to Wet n Wild. So What I'm doing is I'm just kind of dabbing it into the crease to get it off the brush. And then blending it around my crease area, but keeping it just on the outer side of my eyes. All this is really doing is giving my eyes some shape. I'm just going to make sure to blend really well. Now it looks like I'm kind of carrying it over, but all I'm really doing is keeping all the pigment out on this outside and then sort of just very lightly sweeping it over. Just so it's a little bit more seamless, and it'll also kind of help define your eyes even further. So now I'm going to do brows. I'm going to use Anastasia Brow Wiz. As you can see, I have taken off the tail end of my brow. I honestly just didn't like the shape of my natural brow. I thought that my eyebrow or my forehead was big enough to kind of widen out my eyebrows, fill the space a little bit better. I do not recommend it unless you're like totally prepared to just take on a lot more maintenance with your eyebrows. I've only had them like this for a couple months. I haven't decided if I'm going to let them grow out over the summer, so I don't have to worry about like sweating them off or anything. But Anastasia Brow Wiz, so far, is like the only thing I can find that really stays on there. You don't really have to worry about it as much. So I just start at the tail, and this is just soft brown. I start at the tail and I kind of map it out where I want it to go. And then I build it up on top at my arch. Find an arch that I like, and then decide if I want the tail to go further. Sometimes after I do the other one, I'll move this one a little bit further. Also, another little tip that I have for eyebrows, if you do anything close to what I do, so I have this, I don't know, it's just a flat brush. I think it's an elf brush. With a tiny bit on there, all it really does is it cleans it up. It doesn't just put any kind of color down or anything. It just sort of cleans things up for me. As you can see, there's no white product left. Now I'm going to do the other eyebrow off camera. Alright, so now that I've got both tails filled in, only the tails, and then I kind of blend them through, I get another Anastasia product, Dip Brow Pomade in Taupe, and a flat angled brush with a little spoolie on the end. Get a little bit of product. So what I do is, like, I guess some people would call it an ombre brow. I don't, because I don't really see a clear ombre on there. I just think that the brown is a little bit too harsh to put on the end of my eyebrows, and this product, or on my entire eyebrow, and this product is a little bit too light, and I don't think the staying powder is as good as the brow is. It'll kind of cling to the hair and look really nice, but if there's no hair there to cling to, it just doesn't work that well. So yeah, I just kind of move from the tail over, and I start from going underneath my brow, and then whatever is left on the brush, I will just kind of comb up into the front. And to keep it soft, I just make sure to kind of brush through it. I'm going to do the other one off camera. Both brows are done. As the old saying goes, your brows are sisters, not twins, right? Alright. So, before I do any kind of brow gel, I like to powder first so that I can get to the ends and kind of make sure they stay put. Instead of putting that over an eyeshadow like some people do, I just use my face powder. It's translucent, so it doesn't change anything. I've been using the NYX HD Photogenic powder. I don't know why they call it photogenic, to be honest, because I think there might be a little bit of a flashback on it. So it's good for everyday use, but if you're like going out and you think you're going to get a lot of photos taken of you, I wouldn't bother. Alright, so with a large, fluffy, what are you called? Blush brush from Real Techniques, I just kind of lightly powder them on. Powder the rest of my face with just whatever's left on the brush, and then I kind of blend my blush out even further without actually going directly on it because I don't want to take any of the pigment off. So I couldn't find my Anastasia brow gel, so I'm just going to use this number 7 in clear. It's not nearly as good. But what I do is I like to push up these hair, which most people trim down, but because I don't really have a lot of eyebrow hair, I like to keep them up. So I push up the front, and then I push everything else up and then back. So you can see how there's some texture in the hair. Just makes me feel like I have a lot more eyebrows than I do. The hair's there, it's just clear and thin. I have to gel them down or else I feel like it separates too much from the tail and the rest of it. This way it, I don't know, sort of looks like I have an entire brow. But it don't. Now, some days I do a wing liner for this, but not today. I don't feel like it. I'm wearing glasses, so. Let's just move on to a mascara. I'm going to use Lights Camera Lashes from Tarte. It's just a little trial thing that I got in one of my Ipsies, but it's a really good one. It's a nice, thick mascara. So it really helps my tiny little lashes. I have long lashes, but just like eyebrows, not a lot of them. So very carefully. Build it up. And do the other one off camera. Spare ya. Applied 2 coats of that mascara on. 2 thin coats, not very clumpy as you can see. Now I do feel like it's worth mentioning that usually I set my under powder or my under eyes, but I have so many creases in my eyes. I guess I'm just getting older. I don't know, and so depending on what I put underneath there, I just try to avoid it if I can because I feel like it's just been drying out my eyes. My skin's just so dry lately anyway. The Lancome that I use really just stays put, and it's waterproof, and I was very soft with it, so I didn't clump it underneath my eyes. So I really don't see a lot of creasing with that at all, to be honest, so it's a really good product. Now I'm going to take this Illamasqua powder blusher, which I don't know who in their right mind would have a white powder blush. When I bought it, I thought it was actually a highlight, but it's honestly like just the whitest powder, and it's really finely milled, and it's so white. I honestly don't know what else you would use it for. I use it for an inner corner highlight because it is nice and white. With that being said, don't overdo it. So this is a Precision Beauty eyeshadow brush. Just gonna very lightly dab it in there. I have put too much of this on before. And this color really picks up on a camera. I used to try to use it as an eyeshadow, and my husband took a picture of me, and it looked like I had a white circle on my eyes. Not cute. So, very, very lightly, I'm just going to use this as an eyebrow highlight. Super duper lightly. It's a matte color. There's no shimmer in it at all, but I will say it picks up the light. Right now it's actually snowing outside, so it's like a white light, and it makes it look even brighter, to be honest. But I like it because it's going underneath glasses. So this is something I do sometimes. I don't know why. With the excess that's on my brush, I go right in this corner. I just like to put powder there because my eyes water a lot, and I feel like it keeps anything from smudging underneath my glasses. Okay, so for lips, I'm going to use the Revlon Colorburst Balm Stain. The reason why I'm using this is because you can see my lips are pretty dry, and it's a beautiful cranberry color, and it's nice and light, so I'm going to use a little bit on my lips. This can be built up. This can be built up to a higher pigment, but it's really unnecessary. Stays on for a while. I love all these products. I have a couple of the matte ones too that are great. Take my hair down. Put my glasses on. And there she is. Whoop. There it is. Put my hair where it needs to go. So I just want to thank you so much for watching. That was my first makeup tutorial on good old YouTube. As you can tell, I was a little bit ill-prepared and probably a little nervous, I'm going to be honest. So if you liked it, give me a thumbs up, show some support. And if you didn't like it, sorry. You don't have to watch it, I guess. I should be making another one relatively soon on winged eyeliner. I wear it pretty often. People ask me how I do it, so I'm going to show you how I do it. I do it 2 different ways, so keep an eye out for that one. Now, go ahead and like and subscribe if you liked my video, and I thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all the support, and, you know, stay pretty, ladies and gentlemen.